Hi everyone, welcome to the First Call Plus. Nice to have your company as we preview some undercard races from Ellerslie and Wingatui for racing this Saturday. I have Aidan Rodley to my right with Jason Tarn to indulge in all of the form, and the first race we're taking you off to is from Ellerslie. It is race number 3 on the card of meeting code 2, and of course we have the $50,000 bonus late quaddie on Saturday also. The Auckland Co-op taxis, $2,200 coming through, $3.80. Ladies first is $3. Auckland Cup, the target for ladies first, $3. Your reaction to that, Jason?
Not surprised that she's the favourite for the race. Would I take that price given the conditions? I think there's another runner in the race called Coming Through that gets 5 kilo off her that can run her really close.
$1.50 to place, and Stu Lang was pretty keen around the chances of coming through, and Aidan, you've got it settling back on the rail.
Yeah, I just think that's probably his best way. You know, we know what sort of quality horse he is. The concussion plate staying on this horse, he's had them on for the last few starts as well. Does make ladies first 3.5 kilograms better off, Jason said. She's probably going to be a little bit handier. There's just no speed in this race whatsoever. 1770 sets up to lead, but who else is up there? We just don't really know. And Tony May's an interesting runner, just where they position. They could go mad in front here on Tony May. It's hard to sort of really work out what they'll do tactically.
Followed actually Tony May a bit throughout the career. I spotted her on the race tracker 18 months ago, and she was a horse. Yeah, but a horse that hit the line late. So she's always shown staying potential, Tony May. I don't know that they'll ride her that handy, even though last start they did. Completely forgetting to talk about this race here, which was a non-event in that it was a sit sprint.
Oh,
and
definitely.
You know, you got a horse like Charles Road, okay, doesn't present in this race, sat in the 1-1 and got shuffled back, but like by default a couple of horses had to move because, as George Simon has said before, he's seen glaciers move faster.
Yeah.
He didn't pull that out in that call, but he would have been entitled to.
Yeah. The difference between this and the Auckland Cup is obviously Auckland Cup set weights and penalties. This is a handicap race, and that's where ladies first is carrying 58. She's going to be massive, dropping back to 53 Auckland Cup time. So that'll be her go.
Yes.
With this time round, she's just unable to reel in Kaharo. The blinkers go on this time round. She's had a look at Ellerslie. She's going to be fitter, but this is a race that's going to favour Coming Through. He's got 53. He's going to move to 55 in the Auckland Cup. Geez, it's just showing that, you know, she's going to have to, like, it's a 5 kilogram swing the other way come Auckland Cup time. He's going to have to prove that he's something really superior than ladies first. I don't think he's 5 lengths better or even, you know, more than that. He doesn't have to be this time round. He's probably the horse to beat in this race, just at the handicap conditions. But even so, you know, we are trying to get a decent Auckland guide out of this Auckland Cup guide out of this race.
With the exception of that race where Kaharo won with a big weight, we've seen both in the south and the north these handicap staying events being run and won by horses carrying the minimum 54, or in this case I think Coming Through 53. So he looks a really good bet actually. The more that I think about it, the more I think he's probably going to close close to favourite, I think.
Let's have a look at our King Sway. Almost got Stu Lang home with a very hefty Quinella at Matamata last start. He loomed up the grey. He's never won at Ellerslie though, Aidan. How do you assess him in this?
This was a performance and a half, and he's coming up with Show the World on his outside, and these two horses really get home. I thought it was a terrific effort from him. As I said leading into this race last week, I was just a bit wary of him. He's got those bar plates on, which is always a bit of a, you know, it's a red light to me punting a horse. But you know, you go back and have a look at his run at New Plymouth, and behind Beefeater that day was very good. Beat home Gentle Tonton, who, you know, we expected to be a horse who would love the wet conditions last time. It was a weight for Asian, just he didn't quite show up. But that performance from our King Sway was pretty noteworthy.
Yeah, I mean, you said he hasn't won here, but that brings up really old wounds because back in 2016 he got relegated from first. He was first past the post. Darren Dennis was on, I think, and he was wayward. He lost the race. I'm not going to go into the merits of what I thought. I'm probably speaking through the kick a bit, but he'll be okay around Ellerslie.
You're not a grudge holder, are you?
Not really. It just depends how significant that moment was for life.
You just have a very good memory.
Sometimes you have pivotal life moments and you just think, gee.
Okay, making money off the race, Aidan. What do we do?
It is a difficult one. I am with Coming Through. I just think he's the horse who's best placed under the conditions of the race. But come Auckland Cup time, I'll be swinging towards ladies first, no two ways about it.
Total call with Aidan. Totally agree.
Okay, let's turn the page now over to one of Ellersley's specialists in Go Nicholas, who heads up the Go Racing Syndications 1400. He's 580, Tiptronic 350. Then we're out to $3.70 for Yoon with Sam Weatherly doing the riding. This over 1400 metres, race 4 from Ellerslie. Go Nicholas, nice to see him back at Ellerslie, Aidan.
Yeah, exactly, and he's high class. There's no two ways about that. He's been freshened since failing in the Railway Stakes last time out after getting back, but I like him here. He's up 4.5 kilograms, which might be a little bit against him, 59.5. In a race that's devoid of speed, I just found this a tough race to map. Rude not to, I want to dance like him, Tiptronic, something vain. I think they're the basis of the speed in the race, but how fast they go. Did you have thoughts on that?
I struggled with it.
Yeah.
I struggled with it for the reasons that you mentioned about the questions over the shape and pace of the race.
Yeah.
You'd think I want to dance like him might roll forward. 1400 metres is kind of his optimum journey, the tempo of that race. Like, he's not really fast early, but he can roll into it. And from that draw, I just think that Michael Conn would roll out to the park position and control the speed. I wanted to be, when I looked at the race, I thought I'll probably want to be on Tiptronic, and then the bookmakers have obviously found him.
Yeah.
So $3.50, I can't argue with that as being much of an over, but on the other hand, not a significant under, but about right. He'd be the top pick for me.
He is going up. We haven't seen him since the Ritual Mile when he carried 52. He's got to carry 57 and a half in this race. Also sort of, that's a little bit of a concern, but barrier 4, he's going to get a lovely run in the race. You'd think it's somewhere close to the speed, and he's a decent chance. Concussion plates stay on. I want to dance like him, who's a big horse as well.
Can we stand him out here, Tiptronic, Jason?
Well, he comes out of that trial that Device, Bonnevale and Francoletta trialled in Topor and wasn't really asked. So we've seen Device win a Group 1. Unfortunately, Bonnevale's gone amiss, and we'll see Francoletta in Sydney on Saturday as well. So, yeah, okay, he's a back. He's the top pick and possibly a back, but I'm betwixt and between at the price, but he's the top pick. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, I found it a really difficult race. I had Go Nicholas on top, but the big weight, it's a difficult race, and it's a race that I'm really wary about playing.
Let's go to Wingatui now and have a look at the open handicap, courtesy of White Robe Lodge. And at the 60 kilos, it is boots and all with Jacob Lowry. $4.40 a piece about Gallant Buoyant LB, who gets in here with no weight, and Fascinator last start winning $4.60. Stoker's Rock is back. He owes us plenty. He owes me plenty.
What are you expecting from him?
You wouldn't know. Would not know. Boots and all 340, Jason. 60 kilos. Had a chat to Jacob Lowry this morning. He said, yes, he's got a lump, a little bit of weight, but he's all class and he's in winning form. Hard to see him beat him? Or have you got something? Who beats him then?
Fascinate.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fascinate was good last time.
Fascinate was good, and just wary that there's 6 kilo between them. So, yeah, Fascinate came out of the White Robe Lodge, and she was okay, maybe a fraction outclassed against a few others, but then she went to Invercargill, sat handy and won as she liked. So, yeah, he's good boots and all. He deserves his weight. Fascinate gets 6 kilos. I think she might be the bet against him, but.
Yeah, she was 9th in that White Robe, a race that Gallant Boy was 2nd, and obviously there's a swing of, I think, 4 kilograms in weight. There's about 4 lengths between them that day, but I'm not going to go against Boots and all. He's a horse that I've been happy to follow the whole way through. He's just been my find of the season. He's been profitable for me, so I'm happy to stick with him.
Should have sent Jake Lowry a tweet and asked whether he had the choice of rides, because he rode Fascinate to win last start. He's built an association with Boots and all, but
It'd be interesting when Tommy Tucker and Boots and all.
Well, you'd tend toward the Andertons, wouldn't you? But 54 kilos, silly me, too light. Sorry, no, I've answered my own question.
He is riding fairly light. I think he's been quite sort of safe around that 55 sort of spot, but obviously
but 54 is probably a bit light for him. Yeah. Sorry, there you go. Thinking about it, you get the answer.
Make me some money then. Are you going to go against me with Boots and all and Fascinate? This isn't Starvoyer and Cooley.
I'll go each way, Fascinate. Yeah.
Okay, so you're not going to go head to head with me.
Oh, well, it depends on what you want to, whatever you select, but I'm happy to go each way, Fascinate. If it's a head-to-head, it's a head-to-head.
Cool.
I'll stay out of that talk, but I'll just stick with Boots and all.
Okay, yeah, very good. Let's go over to race number 5 on the card, the sprinters now. This is a bit more of you, Jason Tan. Dom Carlo.
Here we go. This is
390.
He was good, wasn't he?
Really good.
Good to see Kate Cowan back riding too.
And she has ridden Signify, obviously before. that weight allowance of 3 kilos is a positive for him.
Yep.
He's getting pretty close to being at the right stage to be winning a race like this.
Yep. So it is a sort of an okay swing towards Signify. I think it's 2 kilograms better off. Kate Cowan's one of her career goals is to win on Signify. She hasn't yet done that for Dad Snooky, but Don Carlo just so progressive. Just love what he did last time out. He's won 6 of 12. He gets into these positions and he just wants to win. He's a real fighter, and I think he's one of the most progressive horses in the South Island.
He's going to get a bit of pace as well with horses like Pasito and Jazzman in there, so it's a bonus.
Yes, he should be able to track that speed, and we can see here how good he is tracking that speed and being produced. Like, she's a fighter, Carnival.
Yeah.
So he's done well to get past. So I suppose there's 2 kilos to the advantage of Signify. If there is some really good tempo, I think that'll suit Signify being the classy horse in the race.
Doesn't it show that there's some real depth of sprinting ranks in the South Island? When we're looking at Carnival, that horse has been able to achieve. Signify, Starvoya, Johnny Jones has been terrific in
Enzo's
recent
lad.
starts. Yeah, so we've got a really nice depth of sprinters, and you'd love to see the scene. I know it's a fair way to get to Auckland, but these horses, some of these horses wouldn't have been out of place in the Darley Stallions plate.
Yeah, well, it's the Group 1 Telegraph form of the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So Enzo's lad and Carnival and all of those horses would Signify there.
He's a real fighter, this Johnny Jones, isn't he? He's gone up there and held out Starvoya, who was below her best last time out, probably below her best in the Telegraph as well. But you can never write her off because she's high class. But Johnny Jones is racing well also.
He must be getting close to his mark. That's what I'm worried about. He's up 4 kilos. He must be getting close to his mark. And saying that, he's probably still got a bit more in him being a 5-year-old, but he goes up from 51.5 to 55.5.
Did you choose this video?
No, I don't know where it came from. It was just Cooley.
I actually think I did.
Cooley against
right.
Starvoya. Yeah.
Starvoya is just not stretching it at all.
That's not her, is it? She is
100%.
far better than that, and we know it. But it was lovely picking that day. Our hearts are off to you, Jason. Very nice to do.
Yeah, nice one, Jason.
That video wasn't on our scripts or anything, so you've actually just pulled it out,
just controlling
thrown it on.
Just controlling all my whole life from this thing.
Are we
This
standing
broken
Don?
thing.
Are we standing Don Carlo out?
I am. I love him. He's at a price I think is really playable. $4 in this race. Yeah, I want to be there.
I've got them both. I've got him and also Signify in the middle leg of a treble. So they're the 2 horses that I think are sort of best suited to what I've seen recently.
So is it the distance thing with Cooley? It's just the back to the 1200?
Yes, I think 14 to 16 is her better journey, but she's a mare in form. She also has a couple of weight swings against Starvoya. I think 1200 metres for Starvoya at the moment is her trip.
Yep.
Until I see otherwise, that's sort of how I play her. So the 14, while she might not have been on top of her game, I think at the moment is not what she's looking for. I think she's just got that brilliance over the 6 furlongs right now.
Who are you with?
Hard to go past Don Carlo. I have nightmares about Starvoya. I just want to see her. I'm not going to have a bet in this race till I see the field. Always good to have a look at them on type.
What would we be looking for, and sort of what did you see last time? Because last time you sort of saw
she
a
just had
tetchy
no
sort
life
of...
to her. She just didn't have any life. She walked into the birdcage and just casual. Normally she's up on her toes. She holds herself like big and strong. She went out onto the track early and she just plodded. And even Chris Johnson said post-race, it was just no one home, back to 1200. Could be a bit of a factor, but I want to see a bit of life in her. A bit of life and a nice free step. There we go.
Nice.
Starting to sound like Jenny from the yard.
Oh, from Hong Kong. Well,
Yeah.
I'll be listening anyway to hear the words of life, or not so much,
Well, we'll do our best.
and reacting accordingly.
We'll do our best.
Bit of pressure on now, boy.
Yeah, no pressure at all. The sun will still rise tomorrow. Thank you for coming along here on the First Call Plus. Good luck with your bets over the weekend. Jason Tarn, Aidan Rodley and myself wish you all of the luck in the world.
Giddy up, giddy up.